So I want to give you guys a little bit of a tour of the classroom to let you see what I have done since the last video. Yesterday was my first day back with professional development, just teacher in service. Today is the second day and I only have 2 more full days after this before the kids come back on Friday. So today's video is going to be all about preparing my student materials. I'm going to share with you guys what they're going to have on their desks, what they're going to utilize while they're here with me in person, and what I like to be able to send home with my kiddos. So before we do that, let's take a little bit of a walk around the room and see what it looks like now. But before we get into the classroom tour, I do want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Lakeshore Learning. They have been a company that I've been working with for the past almost 2 years now, and I have always just loved the quality of their products. In fact, they were the company that I always looked to when I first started teaching to be able to buy resources for my classroom. So I'm going to be sharing one of their products in this video. At the end of the video, I have a coupon code that you can use online or in store. And of course, I'm going to leave everything inside of the description box. So in case you're wondering what it is that I'm using today, I'll have it linked down there. So let's go ahead and get started with the video tour. Okay, so this is what the classroom looks like as you walk in, but we're not going to look at this yet. We're actually going to turn to the left. So here's a view of the back of the classroom. Normally on this side right here on these little shelves, I typically have student materials. Now, we don't have mailboxes this year. We are not going to utilize paper or any of the other materials that we have as far as community supplies. So I kept it pretty basic. I still have my paper trays. I still have my pencil sharpener, my laptops just in case kids forget their iPads. And then I have a few little art pieces plus a little Scenty, whatever this like wax melting thing is. So that works out. My books are still up here. None of that has really changed. I do need to get some batteries to be able to put in the lights that are up there at the very top. But other than that, I feel like this little space is pretty much done. I like how clean and simple it is. It's not like over extravagant with a bunch of stuff on it, which makes me feel good. Now this little space is, well, it used to be my area. And this is where I would have small groups. So I still need to finish that little chalkboard that I have there, but I kept it pretty clean and simple. Left the Apple TV. It's not connected over there because I won't be utilizing it this year. But for the most part, this little area is cleaned up. Nobody's going to be touching it. It's just there to just be there. I'm sure I'll do something with the bulletin board. I just don't know what I want to do yet. We're doing a picture book a day, so I might end up stealing my cousin Junior's idea, or you guys know him as Juan, but I will end up stealing his idea and putting all of my little books up there for our picture book a day for our morning meeting. So moving around, this file cabinet actually used to be here. This is where I hide my mess. Actually, I kept my big tables. I didn't want to put them in storage just because then I don't know if I'm gonna get the same tables back. So I went on ahead and just left them there. I have a makerspace cart that we used for the last year, and I just didn't really want to put it away. So that's where it's just going to stay. Nobody needs to go back there. It's not a big deal. And then we have my file cabinet, which is now in between my 2 kid closet doors. So I had this actually here my first year of teaching. I enjoyed it, but I needed space to be able to put my stars that you can still see on the carpet that I have not removed. This is where my kids would sit for when we would have like our morning meetings. That ain't happening this year because we're all staying in desks. So I am going to have the file cabinet back here, which works out because I have a little speaker system that allows me to be able to project my voice, and the kids in the back can hear me, especially with having a mask on. That's going to be really, really, really helpful. For those of you who are like, what is it? It's Red Cat Access. I don't really know the company. There's information on the back if you guys want to end up screenshotting it. And it's called Lightspeed. Looks really dusty over here. So that's what I use. It's just something that goes around my neck. And then that's the speaker in the back so that the kids in the back can hear me. So then I have my little math area. This is where we have all of our math manipulatives and games. We're actually not going to be using that this year, so it's just going to be housed here. I do have a friend who's coming from a different classroom for morning meetings and for, I think it's lunch and special only. So unfortunately, I had to put this baby in the very back. I may end up trying to put him up in the front. I'm not sure yet, but this is where that desk is going to stay because I didn't want to mess up my symmetry. So this is my kitchen area. Nothing really has changed. I still have some pieces to clean out from my fridge, but all that's the same. Keurig and everything. We're not going to be using the math board this year, so that's just going to stay empty. The drawers, or the cabinet doors, I actually have not put on yet. I'm debating on whether or not I want to try to fight it and put these things on because they're a pain in the butt. It may not end up happening. That giant blanket that's right there, that's just to cover up so that you guys don't hear the shh the entire time. Have stools that I've left there. These are all of the student materials that I'm going to be putting at tables, so that's going to stay there for right now. And then my favorite is my little area up front. Ooh, that looks like a hot mess on camera, but I promise you it's not that bad. So I'm using the round table as my little desk area. And I have kind of my laptop, my iPads all set up here. In the back, I am using two of Lakeshore's. These are like the magnetic shelves. They're fantastic. I mean, they're really heavy duty. They look great. So I'm using those, part of Lakeshore. You guys can get them. They are on sale, I believe. And then we also have these here, which are some that I got last year. These are just little Lakeshore magnetic pockets. They're fantastic as well. Right now I have all of my like book talk materials in there. I don't know if I'm gonna leave them in there or if I'm gonna take them out and change them out with something else. But for right now, that's what's gonna end up staying there. Decorated it, put the little pom-poms that I got from Walmart. This is a little Super Steve. If you guys have been watching me since kindergarten, this is my Super Steve. I love Super Steve. He's super cute. But that was my little superhero mascot, and the kids would fight for him every single day. So he's adorable. I did go ahead and put my easel up on the stage because I will be doing my read alouds, all of my like technically small group lessons. Sorry. So I did end up putting the easel up here just to do my lessons. Also have my chair, and then on this side, this is what you guys saw me working on last time. I started kind of creating a little projector station. So right now I have a drawer that doesn't really have anything inside of it. I have my substitute binder, some of the other binders that I use just for collecting student data. And then I have extra white boards and dry erase markers and all of that. So this is from IKEA. I love this. I have two of them. So I use one for my inbox. These are for grades. And then I have a very small little projector that I also purchased for Jamaica when I went with BBT Global. But I'm using it this year because, bless these little babies' hearts, they cannot see that TV all the way in the back. Yes, I know that those are crooked. I shall fix those later. The final thing in my room is going to be this little front area. Now I still need to update my schedule. I just finished my schedule yesterday. It was such a pain in the butt to try to figure out. So I need to update my schedule. These are also from Lakeshore right here. Actually, both of these are. These here, I'm actually gonna probably put like materials to go home or kids that want to drop papers off, that they need to drop papers off. So I need to change those little labels on there. And then I'm going to have date and special information that goes up here too. I placed my printer up here so that I can access it instead of having to walk all the way to the very back of the classroom. And then that's really about it, to be honest. So that's kind of the view of my class. I have 20 kids, plus the little guy that comes every once in a while, and he's going to be 21 for me. It is 12:30 in the afternoon. It's actually my lunchtime. We have lunch from 12 to 1 o'clock. Guys, I've been in a Zoom meeting all day and out of multiple Zoom meetings. So we had different faculty meetings, safety procedures, protocols, like all the things that you could possibly think of, we had it this morning. I am completely zoomed out. Thank goodness I don't have another Zoom meeting, but I do have an in-person meeting with some of the other teacher leaders in the building to discuss bathroom times and procedures. So I have to do that at 2 o'clock, but I do have a little bit of time to be able to work on my student supplies. And I want to walk you guys through the different supplies that I've chosen. Now, I want to kind of be clear because I'm going to have two sets of supplies. The first one is going to be your normal, typical, everyday student supplies. This means like pencils, pencil sharpener, markers, crayons, scissors, glue, all that. That's going to be provided to us by the district, so I don't necessarily have to put that together. They're going to put that together for us, and it's going to come in just one of the old school hard case like pencil boxes. What I'm going to be putting together today is going to be like a learning toolbox. Now, these are the items that for the times that when we're in person and I don't necessarily want to use devices and I want to have things that are just old school, like whiteboard, marker, that type of thing. This is going to be the toolbox that they're going to pull out. Now, I've also been very specific in saying that this will only stay at school. They are not going to take these supplies home because they're my personal supplies. And I gave out like 15 books at the end of the year last year and I did not get them back. So I just want to be careful with the things that I allow kids to be able to send home because there's a very good possibility that, what if it happens that we don't come back this year? And parents are not going to try to make the whole effort of, coming back to school just to drop off a couple of supplies. So I'm going to walk you guys through, show you all of the different supplies that I'm going to be using and talk you through why I'm going to be using those supplies. So let's go over some of the materials that I'm going to place inside of this learning toolbox. Now, I mentioned I don't have the actual school supply box, the one with the crayons and markers and all of that. They haven't given us that yet. So I'm just kind of creating my learning toolbox that the kids are going to utilize here in class. So here's what I've chosen. I actually went for the Lakeshore See and Store book pouch. And here's why I love this. I will leave a link to this product down in the description box so that you guys can go and check it out. But here's what I love. So it's a clear pouch and it's made of this incredibly durable material. And what I love is that you can also wipe it off. So there is no harm in spraying this with any sort of spray cleaner just to make sure that it's wiped down. You can do that with the inside and the outside. And it also comes with a nice little pouch that's actually, you can get to it from the inside. So there's no fear of anything falling out of it while this product is actually closed. Now it comes with 5 inside of each pouch, 5 of these little labels inside of it. I chose not to use them. They're cute. I just didn't want to use them. So it's up to you. What's nice is that it comes with 5 of them, so you could reuse them every single year or for at least 5 years. So it closes up with Velcro, which is really nice. But I also really like the fact that it gets wider. So you can actually store books inside of this if you wanted to. So it's a great product overall. I was really excited to be able to use it. Obviously this year I'm using it as a learning toolbox, but I'm not going to necessarily use it like this for other years. So in the next years, I can see myself using this for some sort of center activity, to store any games, anything that I think would really work with this pouch would be great. So each of the kids are going to get one of these, and inside of it are going to be all of the little materials. Now on the label I just put, this is like my example, I put Spackman, and obviously it's going to be the first name of all of my students, and it says My Learning Toolbox, and I did mention please keep at school because I am going to put some of my own personal materials in there and I don't want them to just go MIA. So let's go through and talk about what I'm going to be placing inside of each of these. So the first thing that I'm going to place inside of it, I feel like it's one of these that's like a given. I'm going to do a dry erase board. Now, if you do not have dry erase boards enough for each of your kids, there are two other options that you can do. One, you can laminate a colored piece of cardstock or a white piece of cardstock. You can laminate it, and kids can use that. Or you can use one of the, like the plastic, like the durable page protectors that you can put into binders. Those are also good. Stick a cardstock inside of it, and it makes it pretty durable for the most part. I highly recommend going for the heavy duty in those. I feel like the ones that are a little bit more cheaper, they just don't last as long. So definitely go heavy duty in those page protectors if that's the route that you end up wanting to take. I'm gonna put a dry erase board inside of it. So that's the first thing. The next thing that I'm gonna place is going to be an expo marker. I feel like that's kind of a duh, right? But one of the things that I've seen online that I really liked, and I feel like it's just kind of an extra little umph if you wanna do this, you don't necessarily have to, but I did go ahead and make a little label that just says Spackman's dry erase marker, do not waste or lose. And so all I'm gonna do is tape it using some packaging tape just like that, so that it's covered up like that. And if it falls, then we know exactly who it belongs to. And that's also going to go inside of this pouch. So the next item, I feel like is probably one of the things that I'm like, it's my favorite thing. And I feel like I have to have my kids, like my kids need to have this. So I'm putting it in there. We'll see how I end up liking or not liking any of these items, but I love my all-purpose highlighter toolkits. Now these are toolkits. I do have this template in the store, and it comes with some different ways that you can utilize highlighters. I use them a lot. I use them in almost every single one of my lessons. I think they're really beneficial. I'm a visual person. I like colors. I like for them to kind of pop off the page so that I can kind of see things in a different way. So I place about 6 highlighters inside of it: purple, yellow, pink, orange, green, and blue. And this is going to be something that I'm also going to place inside of this little toolbox. Look how good it's looking so far. Guys, I'm digging it. The next thing that I'm going to place inside, and I don't really know if I have to put this one in there, but I'm gonna, because I feel like I always had kids who are like my artsy kids, and they really enjoyed just kind of doing like art stuff with patterns and other things. So I'm gonna put a ruler inside of these. Now I have the clear ones, which is really nice because I can wipe them off afterwards. But that's gonna be another item going inside the toolkit. And then I have about 2 more things. The other one I don't have just yet. I'm gonna get little pieces of felt, and I'm gonna cut them into squares so that my kids can utilize them as an eraser for their dry erase board. But I'm also gonna put in a set of die. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of different activities, morning meeting activities, any sort of just like brain break games, that I feel like the kids would really benefit from. And I may not want them constantly on their iPads, especially if they're gonna be here in person with me. So I am gonna go ahead and put a set of die inside of there as well. So that's what it looks like as of now. So I'm gonna close these up, and then these are going to be placed inside of the kids' desks. And then whenever I need for them to take something out, I'm just gonna ask them to take out their toolkits. That way they have easy access to all of the materials, and it's not like just thrown into their desk, because we all know that happens a lot. So that's one of the things that I'm gonna do today. The second thing that I'm gonna do, because I don't necessarily do a lot of materials, guys, I'm just not into that, are going to be home folders. So I'm a little bit of a folder snob, and I do purchase these folders myself just because I like them. But these are the Smeed Poly pocket folders, and it's 4 pockets. So it's like a gray folder. And then on the inside, it has 4 pockets that I'm able to label. So this is what my kids use as a home folder and to store any materials that we're gonna use throughout the day. I don't like for them to have multiple folders, like a reading folder, a home folder, a math folder, because then kids, whenever they have homework, they end up forgetting everything. So I use one folder because I don't typically have a ton of paper materials, and it just seems to work for us. So I did go ahead and start printing out the labels. So I'm gonna have a math label on one side, one of the folders. I'm gonna have a lit studio. We do home, and then I do one for content. So I printed them out. Now I just gotta get those labeled. And then I'm gonna put a label on the outside with the kids' names too. So that's kind of it for the time being. Now what I'm gonna do is just try to put them all together. So maybe fitting in here a little bit of me working in fast, high speed. So guys, I just have to say I found some felt pieces. I went on ahead and cut them up. So these are also going to be added into this. And one other thing is I went on ahead, and this might be something that you would want to screenshot, but I went on ahead and created a must-have apps list. Now, each of the kids are going to receive one of these. I'm going to go ahead and put it in their learning toolbox, and then they're just going to make sure that all of these are downloaded because these are the apps that we use throughout the year. So take a second, screenshot that, and hopefully this helps you if you have iPads in your classroom. Now, I just need to get all this stuff put together. It's the next day now, and I have to tell you guys, I got really busy in the afternoon. I ended up meeting with my MAC team, and we just kind of discussed lesson plans and what do we want the first day to look like, and just kind of talked it through. It was really nice being able to talk it through. Then I was able to meet with the team leader meeting, and then we discussed bathroom times and really designating certain times for everyone in the building to be able to go to the bathroom. We tried to do it right after the recess because they're outside. I figured it would be a good idea as they're coming in. It's not a separate, having to line the kids up time. They could come in, use the bathroom, wash their hands. I figured that would be a good opportunity. Didn't work out for everyone, but I think the majority of our classes, we were able to do that. So that's nice. Now, I need to get everything out on their tables today because I feel like if I wait to do it tomorrow, I'm going to be very stressed. So hopefully I am able to get it done. I do have a few Zoom meetings that I have to attend today, but I think there is enough break in there that I'm able to get it all done. I have to say that there are a few of the learning toolkits that I completely forgot. I don't have enough highlighter toolkits and I don't have enough dry erase markers. So those are two things that I'm gonna have to get done this afternoon and then just kind of fill it in for those kiddos that didn't have those materials. But good news, we have our supplies. So they gave us supply toolkits, and these are all of the materials in here. This is actually a little lanyard that the kids can use to clip their masks on, so that way they don't end up losing it. So we got our supply list. I was even able to create, this is my example, from Google Slides, a name tag. So this is going to be incredibly old school, but this is what the kids are going to work on in the morning when they come to me. But it's going to be, so that's what it's going to look like. We're just going to put it at the end of desks. That way, if God forbid, I end up getting sick, if a sub comes into my room, then that means they at least know the names of certain kids. I was also able to get all of the small labels within the home folders. I just need to get the kiddos' names on here. I need to cut these out today, including those. The blue are for all of the car riders so that parents have for the names. And then we have yearbooks from last year that we're passing out to the kiddos. So a lot of things on their desk, but it's going to be okay. I will get it done today. I will. Okay, so I've gone ahead. That's not supposed to be there. And I have placed out my name tag, so I know exactly where I want kids to be able to sit. I'll be totally honest. I did number order, so I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I came up here 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I just went in number order because, again, I'm trying to do things as simple as possible. I'm not trying to rock the boat, and it's just going to be the easiest way. So that's what I've done. I know these kids, they're good kids, and I've had them for a year already. They know me, I know them, and I think it's gonna work out good. So I went on ahead and did that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start passing out some of these materials. I think I'm gonna start with the folders and then move on to some of these other pieces. All right, so it is officially the end of the day. I'm actually gonna stay a little bit longer today. Trent is gonna have to come pick me up. Our car is in the shop, so I've already told him, I think I'm gonna stay an extra couple of hours. But I wanna show you guys what the student supplies look like. And then I'm gonna spend the remainder of this time basically in the faculty room putting together some agendas, which I will also show you in just a second. So I have pretty much spent the entire time like cutting things out, laminating, putting things together. It's been a labor of love, but it is officially done, and I can say that I am prepared for Friday, which feels really, really good. So let me flip you around and show you what the desks look like. So here's what the room looks like as of now. Everything is ready to go. And then I'm gonna show you exactly how I have planned out their desks. So I went on ahead and I actually covered up a name here. Oops, it's a little blurry. There we go. So I actually went on ahead and covered up a name here, and I stuck my name tag here just so that you can see the example overall. So they have a name tag. I told you guys that it was something that I made inside of Google Drive. And all I did was when you go and look up fonts, I typed in outline and this font came up. So if you're wondering what font that is, I typed in outline for more fonts and I was able to find it pretty quick. But the kids are gonna decorate this on Friday morning. And then afterwards, we're gonna end up putting them just like so on the desks, so that if I have a sub or anything happens, they know the kids' names. So that's there for them. The other thing are going to be the toolkits. Now, again, this little kind of pouch is from Lakeshore. I have a link down in the description box so that you guys can go and check out this product. But inside of it, I have all the little tools that we may end up using inside of the classroom, but this is to leave here. They will not be taking these home just because I want to make sure that I have all these materials back by the end of the year. The other thing that they have in here is going to be their home folder. I still need to do their labels here, but I can get that done this evening. They have a yearbook from last year that they passed out. And then I have a list of the must-have apps. Now I have 5th grade, so my kids are very familiar with me and they're familiar with iPads. So I just want to make sure that they have all of these apps on their iPad. It's something that they can do on top of this if they were to finish. They have something else to work on. And then the district provided everyone with little containers of supplies. They even gave this to the virtual students as well. But that's all of what that looks like. I also want to mention that I had somebody today comment, I read a comment on my YouTube channel, one of my old ones, if I was going to put tape. Yeah, I did. I put tape underneath the first 2 legs of my desk, so that way I can tell students to check their front legs and they can place the desks back where they need to go. The only other thing that I need to show you guys is going to be a planner. So I decided to make my students an agenda. Last year we used composition notebooks and it worked out well, but I wanted something a little bit more done so that my kids are not having to create that every single week. So I actually created this little cover, and then on the inside I wrote like a little student planner. They have their information in it, and then we have a little spot for count information so that my kids remember all of their logins, so I can write those in or they can write them in. It just kind of depends on how it's going to flow. But all this planner is it's my paper planner that I created. So I have like a teacher planner that's paper that I have made, and that's all I've used. I used all the monthly and weekly pages. So the kids will fill this part out, which I'm glad I didn't do any of the subjects on the side because my schedule's already changed, which has been a pain, but it is what it is. So they will have to fill these in. I will check them, and they have everything in here. It's super easy peasy. So now my kids are each going to receive an agenda from me. So let's talk really quick about other supplies. I'm talking about composition notebooks, spiral notebooks, other folders. To be very honest, I'm gonna try to limit all paper contact as much as possible. I don't wanna really have anything that I'm gonna pass out and they're gonna have to pass back to me. It just complicates the matter, and I really need to get my kids accustomed to working everything online in case we were to go virtual for some reason. So I'm gonna try to not use any of that. I did that for the most part last year, and I think this year I'm really gonna just kind of reduce it even more, which will be good in the long run. So I'm not gonna use anything else. What they have on their desks is what they get. And so that makes me feel really good that I have pretty much everything ready to go, and I'm not gonna really be stressed out to get other materials to them throughout the year. So that makes me feel really nice. So overall, I have their desks ready. I feel like I've been very stressed today, but I am feeling just a little bit better knowing that their things are done. My lesson plans for Friday are done. I've already communicated with parents today, and so I have one more day before the first day of school. I'm actually not gonna video for the next couple of days just because I wanna be in the moment and I don't wanna be extra stressed out. So you guys will see me next week when I have my first week of full-blown in-person school, so I'll catch up with you guys then. But I do want to mention and just say a thank you one more time to Lakeshore Learning for sponsoring this video. Guys, they're offering a 25% on coupon to any non-sale item. It's just one non-sale item in the store. Unfortunately, these pouches that you see here, those are on sale, so you cannot add the 25% off coupon onto those pouches, but they have such an amazing array of products out there that I'm sure you're going to be able to find something that you absolutely need in your classroom. So definitely go into the description box, grab that coupon code, and then follow the link to any of the items that you've seen here in this video. I will try to leave them down below. And thank you all so much for watching. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you are in school, I hope you're doing well. What do you guys think about what's on the table? Is there anything else that you're like, Bridget, I don't know, I feel like you should have added this, or I think this is probably not gonna be the best, or I think everything you did was right on point. So I would love to know what you guys are giving your students for in-person, if you are in person. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that notification bell if you have not already so that you can get notified every time I upload a new video or I go live, which happens quite often, to be honest. And if you're not subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel. I talk a lot about literacy instruction in the upper grades, and I also talk about productivity